Good morning from day 40 of my 2024 AT journey. It was an eventful night last night. So I get to camp, I'm all set up and hanging out. I hadn't put my food in the bear box and was kind of getting ready to call it a night super early, like 7 o'clock early. And I hear the caretaker bringing back some other people to the tent platforms to get them settled in, and I overhear him just remind them, make sure you put your food and all your smellables in the bear box, because we've actually had a bear here 3 separate times as recent as what would have been last night. And I was like, oh, he didn't mention it to me, which is fine. I know he's a fill-in caretaker, so he was a little flustered when I came in because he didn't know exactly what to do. But anyway, so I overheard that, and I mean, it didn't really change anything that I did anyway, because I always put my smellables either in a bear box or hanging from the tree. I'm not someone that sleeps with my food. And I put everything, toothpaste, lotions, anything like that, toiletries that smell, I put in with my food bag at night too. So anyway, I was like, all right, well, that's interesting. I was like, well, maybe the bear won't show up tonight. Well, I fall asleep, and at 10 o'clock, I wake up startlingly, is that a word? To someone screaming, hey bear, bad bear, go away. Screaming at the bear super loud. So I was like, oh, great, the bear's here. And I couldn't tell exactly where it was coming from. It sounded like it was maybe over by the bear boxes and food tent, or down by the caretaker's tent. But it was not in my immediate vicinity. But anyway, I laid there awake for a little bit, and then I heard them yelling at the bear again. It had come back once. So it came at the original time. It came back one time. After that, same person was yelling at it again. And then I heard some of the other tenters nearby being on the other platforms talking about how they saw it. And it was a young bear, which is a little bit more concerning than an adult bear, because young bears typically give no Fs. Another thing the caretaker had said is that this bear is not afraid of humans. So it's very persistent and doesn't just run away when you yell at it or make noises like most bears do. So anyway, I lay there a little bit longer, and because I couldn't fall asleep at this point, and then I hear another person yelling at the bear. So the bear came back a second time, and then I think it came back one more time too. So bear came back 3 times in total last night, and finally, I was just so tired. I was like, well, I've got all my smellables out of my tent. There's no reason that the bear should come here. It sounds like the bear is not coming to the tenting area in general. So maybe, when it is a problem, it's just coming to places where there's food. So I eventually fell asleep, which is honestly a little surprising, because this is the first time I've had this close of a bear encounter. But yeah, then I woke up at 2 a.m. to a pretty bad thunder and lightning storm, and I'm still pretty high up on the mountain. I was at 4,000 feet. There's not a ton of tree cover, and the thunder was reverberating off of all the mountains around me, and it was so loud, and it would just roll for so long. The lightning was super bright. I checked the radar, and yeah, it just wasn't going to improve anytime soon, so I just tried to go to sleep. But all was well. I did wake up at one point with a damp quilt. I have a towel though, because I was on a wooden platform, so the rain splashes off of that a little bit more aggressively than if you're just on dirt. So I wiped down the inside of my tent. The quilt didn't get exceedingly wet or anything, just a little. And this morning I did wake up with a puddle in my tent down at the bottom corner by my feet. Somehow my quilt wasn't in it, but so yeah, that was fun. So that was my night. I actually slept pretty well, all considering everything that was going on. Eventually the thunder and lightning passed and it just was rain, like heavy rain. But it was pretty scary for a little bit there with the lightning and thunder. But yeah, this morning I laid in my tent for a little bit, hoping to find a lull in the rain to pack up. Got everything packed up in my tent that I could to keep it dry. And then there was a point at which the rain got like lighter, so I got out of my tent and packed that up. I have it just on the top of my pack right now because it's soaking wet. And then I walked over to the food area to get, like, to brush my teeth and to get my food and finish packing all that stuff up. And the caretaker was there and he was telling me the bear was out again this morning already. Like 30 seconds after he left his caretaker tent to come up and check on people, he heard like his kitchen area like crashing around in it. So the bear must have been watching him and knew the second he left and came through his kitchen looking for stuff. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this campsite stays open. I don't know. Like, I know in the Smokies they'll close shelters periodically if there's a problem bear. I don't know if the AMC does that. Here in the Whites, it is one of the more popular campsites because it's only a couple miles from the road and it's very close proximity to Franconia Notch and like in the Penny Loop and stuff. But yeah, it seems like this bear is not really afraid and is very persistent, and it will keep coming back, and eventually, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a little aggressive. So it'll be interesting to track and see what happens. Maybe it'll just go away. I don't know. Doubtful. But anyway, I have an easy day into town today. I think total it's like 3-point-something miles. It's really only like 2 miles on the AT. And then I have a Blue Blaze that I have to hike to a parking lot, which is where I will call the Old Colony Ski Club. They'll come pick me up. And then going into town, gonna dry everything out and get some nice relaxing after the last 2 hard days. So got a lot of downhill this morning, over 2,000 feet. I'll try to show you some of it so that this video isn't just all me talking. But I'll see you later. Alright, so this is what my day has looked like and will probably look like all the way to the end. Just a bunch of wet rocks. Sometimes there's nice little steps and sometimes there isn't. I do think that I eventually hook up with like a paved bike path to finish out once I get off the AT. So that'll be nice.